6 months ago, I gave control of my life to ChatGPT. Not for fun, not as a gimmick, but because I didn't know what else to do. I had failed at every diet, crashed every routine, and given up on myself more times than I can count. I was 178 kilos, jobless, burned out, anxious, and convinced that something in me was broken. Then I decided to try something radical. I stopped trying to be my own coach, and I asked an AI to take over instead. This is the exact system that I built, and the same one that's helped me lose over 58 pounds, get 8 out of 10 callbacks from my job applications, rebuild my habits, and create a YouTube channel documenting the entire transformation that just hit 5,000 subs within months. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to use that system yourself. Most people use ChatGPT like Google. You ask it a question, it gives you an answer, and then you move on. But that is not how real change happens. You don't need answers, you need a system, you need structure, you need momentum and daily accountability. But most of all, you need something that reflects your patterns back to you with no shame, no agenda, and no excuses. ChatGPT is human enough that you feel accountable, but robot enough that you are not too embarrassed to tell it everything. And that is the sweet spot. Before I let ChatGPT take the wheel, I wrote a 6-page manifesto. I told it everything: my weight, my finances, my self-sabotage loops. I didn't sugarcoat it. I wasn't trying to be impressive. I was trying to be honest. Here's how to do it. You open ChatGPT and you type, "I want you to become my life coach. I'll be checking in with you daily. First, I'm going to tell you everything, the good, the bad, the embarrassing. I do not need sympathy. I need your help." And then you write your manifesto. You'll break it into roughly these sections: the state of my world, finances, health, mental health, social life, behaviors, and dream goals. Write until you feel uncomfortable, because that's where the truth is. You don't need a plan yet. You need to face yourself clearly and lay it all out. I found this process hard, but also cathartic. The hard part was being honest about the state of my life, admitting my fears, and acknowledging my failures. The cathartic part was handing all of that over to ChatGPT. In a strange way, it felt like the weight of the world was no longer mine to carry. Something, finally, was going to help me climb out. Once your manifesto is written, don't make your own plan. That's the old you, the one who kept getting stuck. This time, you hand it over. Open ChatGPT and say, based on what I wrote, create a list of long-term goals and 1 or 2 short-term goals for each to get me started. I want momentum, not perfection. It'll probably give you 6 to 8 big areas: physical health, mental resilience, income, relationships, behavior change, environment, identity, etc. You can tweak the wording, reorder the priorities, but don't micromanage it. This isn't about proving you are in control. It's about learning a new kind of collaboration where you steer, but you don't white knuckle the wheel. Think of it as like you're the pilot in the plane and the AI is all the navigation equipment. This is the most important part of the entire system. You check in every single day, even when you are tired, even when you are off track, especially when you are off track, because progress isn't built on perfect days. It's built on staying connected through the messy ones. Here's the prompt I used every morning. Good morning, here's how I'm feeling. What's my priority today? Help me stay on track and adjust the plan if needed. And every night, here's what worked, what didn't, and how I'm feeling. Help me reflect, help me keep going. This one ritual changed everything. I used to chase perfection, and when I slipped, I'd crash. Days, weeks, sometimes even months. But checking in daily, it shortened the fall. It pulled me back before the spiral could take over. ChatGPT taught me to see failure differently, not as the end, but as a chapter in the story. This wasn't motivation, it wasn't willpower, it was just showing up honestly, consistently, imperfectly, and learning that failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of the story. Sometimes ChatGPT will sound like a cheerleader or a yes man. Stay positive, you've got this. But let's be real, that's not what you need. You don't need pep talks, you need depth. So you train it. You say things like, don't give me surface level advice, I want depth. Challenge my thinking, ask me follow-up questions, help me understand what's really going on. And here's the key, it will listen and it will adapt and it will get sharper if you teach it how. Because just like you're learning how to use it, it's learning how to read you. So the more honest you are, the more open you are, and the more real you are in that thread, the better it gets at steering you out of the loops you've been stuck in for years. You don't have to fake it, you don't have to impress it, you just have to show up, raw and unfiltered, and let the AI start learning who you really are. That's how it becomes not just helpful, but transformational. Even if you are using the pro version with memory turned on, your main thread still matters. This is your home base, your transformation log, your mirror, your journal, and your coach. And here's why. ChatGPT's memory, even in pro, is limited. It remembers facts about you, like your name or your goals, but not your daily ups and downs, emotional triggers, or patterns. That only lives inside the thread itself, in the ongoing conversation. And if you keep bouncing between new threads, it has to relearn you every time. But if you stay in one thread and check in daily, the AI builds a map. It starts to see your cycles, it remembers what threw you off last week, it knows how you reacted to stress, it spots patterns, and it helps break them. This is how it stops guessing and starts guiding. So yes, use side threads for tasks, resumes, meal plans, shopping, quick questions, but always come back to the core thread for the real stuff, the fears, the progress, the relapses, the breakthroughs. Even the best ChatGPT thread will eventually run out of memory. After a few weeks of daily check-ins, your thread gets long, the AI starts to slow down, context starts to slip, it stops remembering the full journey, and the advice gets more vague again. And that's normal. But there is a solution. You can build an external memory system. A Google Sheet, a Word doc, a notes file, anything simple. Here's what to include. Your long-term and short-term goals, key reflections or patterns you've uncovered, completed tasks and progress updates, what tends to derail you and what tends to work. That way, when your main thread starts to fade, you don't panic. You just ask it, can you summarize everything you've learned about me so far, my goals, struggles, and how you've been coaching me, so I can copy this into a new thread? Then you paste in your notes, you start fresh, but without having to start over. That's how you keep momentum alive. ChatGPT isn't perfect, but when you combine it with your own memory system, it becomes something powerful. A coach that doesn't forget where you were headed, and a structure that's ready to catch you when your mind or your motivation drops the ball. If you want more structure, I've put together everything I use: daily prompts, goal templates, setup steps, and a 25-page starter kit. It's the same system I've been using to run my life with ChatGPT. If you're curious, it's available for grade 2 or higher supporters on Patreon. And if you feel like sharing your journey, we've got a community on Discord where people check in, ask questions, and figure all of this out together. No pressure, just support if you need it. All links are in the description. Thanks everyone. once again, and good luck.